evening, everybody. Thanks very much for the careers services here for having us here tonight. Thanks everybody for turning out. Appreciate the time we have. My name is Gus Carney. I'm the director of the SEPAM group. SEPAM is an engineering, procurement, management and construction company. We're working globally in countries like the USA, Colombia, the Middle East, in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi. Business lines are project and construction management, engineering and contracting, automation, control and security systems. Where SEPAM has high-skilled engineering, procurement and construction expertise for a commercial scale of work in the following business units: oil, gas and chemicals, automation, control, instrumentation, information and security systems, industrial and infrastructure, and global strategic services. We're a global company. We're working in many countries around the world, as you can see here. The main focus of business for us today is in the Middle East and South America. As was explained by a gentleman from Kingspan earlier, there's not much work for our type of business in Ireland anymore. Hopefully it'll pick up in the future, but we're looking for people who are willing and ready to travel to go to work, and we're looking for people who have an openness to move. Companies that SEPAM has worked for in the past and presently are some of the bigger names in global industry and in large infrastructure projects. People like Fluor from the States, Chicago Bridge and Iron, British Airports Authority, Shell, ExxonMobil, Siemens, ABB, Ajib. Can I give you just an idea of some of the size and scale of some of the projects we're working on? Petrobras was the world's second largest petrochemical complex. The clients on that were Aramco and Sumitomo in Japan. We carried out engineering and project management on that project. Cartagena Oil Refinery in Colombia is a project we've recently just completed. It was a shutdown on a major oil refinery in a city called Cartagena, which is in the north of Colombia. It's the first drop-off for cruise ships in the Caribbean, interestingly, and it's a very popular location for people. Saudi Cayenne Olefins plant. Owner of the project was Cayenne Petrochemical Company in Saudi. We carried out engineering and project management on that project. Abu Dhabi SGD, which is acronym for Shah Gas Development, it's in Abu Dhabi. We're providing project management support for Fluor out of the States. And just to give you an idea, just as a good scale reference point, I was there recently, and if you can see where my cursor is on the screen, I stood up on that sand dune, looked down over as far as the eye could see. I could see structural steel. Huge project. It's going to go on for about 3 years. It's going to be 20,000 to 30,000 people working on the project. In our ACIS division, we have recently just completed the installation, commissioning and decommissioning of the multi-venue security system for the Olympics. That involved installation of systems, design of systems for identifying facial recognition and number plate recognition coming into and exiting all venues for the Olympics. TCO was with Parsons Fluor Dania. It was a joint venture of Parsons and Fluor from the States. We did instrumentation and field engineering, pre-commissioning and commissioning for large gas development. In terms of airports, BAA Honeywell, we have been working with BAA and Honeywell in London for the last 7 years. We're working on Heathrow Airport Terminal 5 A, B and C are complete, and we're currently working on Terminal 2 A and B. Newdow International Airport is one of the largest infrastructure projects being completed in the world at the moment. It's coming to a completion early next year, and we've got several scopes. One of them is the CP6201, which is the access for staff for all of the airports. You're going to see about 20,000 people going into the airport on a weekly basis through that. As well, in infrastructure and environment, TINA 400 megawatt combined cycle power plant is actually in Galway. It was completed about 8 years ago. We did the E&I installation and commissioning on the power plant in Hina. Interestingly, it was the fastest completed per megawatt plant in the world at the time. Motorola MAS 17, it's one from the early days of SEPAM. It was one of the early wafer fab projects built in China, and was completed over 16 months. Greater Gabbard is a project we completed commissioning last year. It's the largest completed offshore wind farm in the world. Our duration of our project was 9 months. We were responsible for the design and installation of the fit-out of the transition pieces, which is the yellow tower coming out of the sea, on top of which you place the wind turbine. Inside that, we were responsible for all the engineering, procurement and construction, which included things like the MCCs, the transformers, the navigational aids, communication devices, HVAC, etc. Some of the things that we ask of candidates who want to apply to SEPAM for work: are you prepared to spend extended periods away from home? Are there any limiting conditions, such as health or family, that may restrict your ability to travel? Have you a realistic understanding of international living and working conditions? Can you integrate within a team environment, which is an extremely important part of our overseas positions? Do you have flexibility to adapt and change within an ever-changing global landscape? And are you ready for the challenge? We must ask these questions because every year we take on a bunch of graduates, and we do ask people to travel. This year we're mainly looking for people who are interested in working in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia and Qatar being the two main countries we're looking for people to go to. We're offering positions that are very challenging. As you can see from some of the previous slides, on some of the biggest projects in the world, working with some of the biggest players in the world like Fluor, KBR, CB&I, Technip, who are huge EPC companies, bigger than anything we have in this country. With dynamic growth over the past number of years and success recent awards and projects, we're an ideal company for anyone seeking a big opportunity. People we're looking for at the moment are electrical engineers or related disciplines, mechanical engineers, civil engineers, quantity surveyors and instrumentation. Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate everybody's ears, and if you're interested in applying to SEPAM for a career, the website is sepam.com, or you can send the CV and cover letter to recruitment@sepam.com, and we're keeping this open until the 30th of November, after which we'll be trying to pull together the successful candidates from the different disciplines we're hiring. Thank you.